than the complaint that Ronda Rousey kicks people's asses too freaking fast. Because that's what happened. Beth Correa running her mouth like no one's ever ran their mouth to Ronda before. And she just got pummeled. She got embarrassed. Ronda isn't a knockout fighter, okay? Ronda's fighting style is judo, and she prefers to get in clenches and grappling situations, and her what she usually wins her matches in is an armbar submission. She's not a brawler. She's not a stand-up boxer brawler. That's not her fighting style at all. That's all she did for 34 seconds to Beth Correa and Beth Correa's gut and face and head until Beth Correa got knocked the frick out. Like I said, 34 seconds into the first round. Knockout Ronda Rousey. And Ronda, as we mentioned last week, was going into this fight saying that she hated Correa more than anyone she's ever gone into a fight against, and that her strategy was going to be to intentionally prolong the duration of the fight to inflict as much embarrassment and pain and suffering as possible onto Correa. That was the one comment that concerned me, that maybe Correa had a chance to win this, because that suggested that Ronda was willing to go up against her without her best. And that's just never a good strategy. But in reality, any strategy that involves stepping inside an octagon is a winning strategy for Ronda Rousey, because she just destroyed, beat down, punched, boxed, brawled, embarrassed Beth Correa in 34 seconds. Where Beth is from Brazil. That is why the fight took place in Brazil, because that's where Ronda wanted to beat her. That's how much she disliked her. So you got to see, and boy, I thought one of the highlights was the Ronda Rousey entrance. Beth Correa's entrance, she came out first, and she came out like a punk, like a cocky snot-nosed punk that, was picking on the big bad giant, and thought their poo had no aroma to it. You like that? Yeah, I no. But anyway, and that it was inevitable that, that she was going to beat Ronda and take the title. And Ronda came out. Oh my gosh, Ronda's entrance, like if you were a WWE fan back in the day, if you remember Goldberg, that was Ronda Rousey's entrance. Like, she came out of the locker room, just stone cold killer face, with security guards around her that generally looked scared for their safety, their own safety, and the safety of anyone who might come near Ronda and just be in the way of her fury. Like, they weren't protecting Ronda from anything or anyone. It was like they were protecting everyone from Ronda. Like she was a beast let off the leash, and we need to herd her to the ring, or like that's what it felt like. Oh my gosh. And then Bruce Buffer doing the announcements, and Correa was still all super springing her step and arms out and sticking her face out, and super cocky, and Ronda was just stone cold killer face the whole time, and came out, and they both went at each other, and it was just non-stop Ronda just crushing her with punches over and over and over. Ronda at one point tried to push Beth away from her, where in any other fight she would have taken the opportunity to get her into more of a grappling situation, take it to the mat, and slap on the submission, where she was demonstrating, no, I'm not going for my armbar tap out anytime soon, because I want to hurt you as much as I can. And it took 34 seconds, and she got a couple headshots in on her after that push. Like I said, she pushed her off of her, and Correa just still kind of never really regained her balance, her composure, just kind of, huddled up against the fence or the cage of the octagon there, and then Ronda delivered, like I said, 2-3 blows, one square to the face, one to the temple, one to the jaw, and just, out Correa went. And Ronda has just become this must-see fighting attraction. The only thing I can compare it to in my lifetime, now I'm sure other people have other things they could compare it to, but in my lifetime the only thing I can compare it to is Mike Tyson. Ronda Rousey is today's Mike Tyson, but way better at her craft. Much less of a, I don't know, whatever, fill in the blank. I'm not even going to say a word, just fill in the blank. We're talking about Mike Tyson. Or we were, at least. But we're really supposed to be talking about Ronda Rousey, but that's the type of domination that she's got, the level that she's on in relation to the rest of her peers. That's the only fighting dominance that I've seen in my lifetime that's comparable to what Ronda Rousey is doing right now. Now, if you believe the delusional Beth Correa, she will fight Ronda again, and the next time she will beat Ronda, for two reasons. Because she wants Ronda's title by the end of the year, and she always gets what she wants. So that's reasoning A. And then reasoning B is that Ronda has to lose sometime because nobody goes undefeated. So that gives you a little insight into just how much of our newest member to the honorary STUM Hall of Fame. That's right, we have a STUM Hall of Fame here. It includes offensive coordinator Bevel of the Seattle Seahawks. It includes Chip Kelly of the Philadelphia Eagles. It includes a lot of people who, when stupid isn't enough and dumb isn't enough, they're so stupid and so dumb that they're stupid dumb. We use the word STUM. Newest member in our STUM Hall of Fame, Beth Correa, on her logic on both Ronda's future inevitable downfall in MMA and her inevitable rise to the top. But again, for the record, I love Ronda Rousey. I couldn't be much bigger of a Ronda Rousey fan, and it boggles my mind how anyone could not be a Ronda Rousey fan unless, you have to face her in a fight sometime. Then I could see how you're not a Ronda Rousey fan. But otherwise, I don't see how, her level of greatness in itself, and then all the elements I see of her personality, and the different things that make her who she is. She is truly she's not a once in a lifetime performer, entertainer, fighter, competitor. She's a once ever person. Period. That's the level she's on. So, at least in my humble opinion. So, what's next for Ronda Rousey? I hear the name Holly Holmes. At least I think it's Holly. But to me, that's just the next Beth Correa, the next Kat Zingano. The last several fights to me have been, no, there's a new up-and-comer, and this is the one. This is the one that can give her a shot. This is the one that can challenge. It is. No, we're getting the same result every time because Ronda's game is elevating more than it used to be, and her game used to be above where pretty much anyone's had ever been in her sport. So you've got everybody else still trying to catch up to what she used to be, and she's elevating and moving on and becoming more than what she used to be. To me, Holly Holmes is just another feeding a lamb to a wolf. Just like Correa was, just like Zingano was, just like these last several fights for Ronda has been. I think Ronda will continue to do those fights as long as there is someone that the argument can be made that no, this is, they're the up and comer, they're worthy, give them a shot. Like, I think as long as they can make an argument for one of those people, as they've done the last 2, 3, 4 fights with Ronda, that's going to be the case yet. Now, again, there's only the one name that I know of, that's Holmes right now, with the exception of the dream fight that will happen someday, everybody wants, and that would be Cyborg versus Ronda Rousey. Now, Cyborg, I want to say she fights under a different MMA promotion, let alone fights in a different weight class. But that doesn't mean that they couldn't come to some agreement and have a fight. I want to say Ronda fights at 135, and I want to say Cyborg fights at 145. Why they couldn't just meet in the middle at 140 is absurd. Like, that should be pretty easy and pretty fair. Or Ronda could just put on 10 pounds and take Cyborg on at 145 and not make Cyborg move at all. Because in a fight like that, if you're the person who's willing to move a weight class and the other person doesn't move a weight class at all, and you win, that's as like impressive and stamped, definitive of a stamp on a victory that you can get over someone. Like, not only am I better than you, I beat you at your game, doing everything that you're supposed to be better than me at. I didn't make you. You can't use I lost 10 pounds of muscle and I'm not used to, this body, and, like, you can't, you have no excuses. I'm the one with excuses and I won. But so anyway, I believe that the Cyborg versus Ronda Rousey fight will happen someday, but it will be Ronda's last MMA feud, fight, storyline, rivalry, whatever. Hopefully it has 2 chapters. The Miesha Tate one has. That's the only one that I'm pretty, to my knowledge, that's the only one that's warranted a rematch, that's taken on the rowdy one, Ronda Rousey. Again, someone correct me if I'm wrong at BDST Show on Twitter or Scotty Dashball on Facebook. But that just to me seems like that's the last hurdle. That's the, there's nowhere really for her MMA career, for her UFC MMA career to go once she does the Cyborg thing and closes that. Like I said, hopefully it's awesome and we get like 2 fights out of it. And then that's it for her, at least, for a while in MMA, and then she can go to WWE like she wants to. Because, oh man, would we love to have her there. But she belongs in UFC right now. As long as she's the best in the world at that, she belongs doing that. And that's where I, as a all-encompassing sports fan, would like her to be. But wherever she's successful and whatever makes her happy ultimately, that's the destination. But like I said, don't look for the Cyborg fight to happen until there are no more other options for her. And as of right now, there's, there's this Holmes girl. Just like, there's this Beth Correa girl. And then before, just like, there's this Kat Zingano. So as long as they can find one of those girls, I think that's what's going to just keep being fed to Ronda for the time being. It'll be interesting to see if they run out of those girls first, or if Ronda simply gets bored and fed up with that and says, okay, I need to do the Cyborg fight and, devote a year, set the next year of my life aside to, possibly 2 Cyborg fights And then that'll kind of be it. Like, I won't officially retire forever, but I'll retire from active fighting and pursue my acting and modeling careers and maybe pursue my WWE passions as well. But so that is what is for, that's what I expect to be next